Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
What's a Blerd? That's a black guy who's also a nerd. Reading comics, watching anime. Haven't you heard? It's Jeremy J and Miriam talking to Delirium. Naruto, then Marvel, then DC. Are you hearing him? Pop culture reference pull them out periodically. We sync up movies with the comics canonically, and we watch a lot of TV. It's our virtual reality. I guarantee one day we'll have a TV show on NBC.
Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
Start some stuff.
There you go.
I mean, yeah. So I'm happy to know that Lin-Manuel Miranda decided to be in the movie for the sake of saving.
For the sake of the movie,
for the sake
not
of the
for his
authenticity.
clout.
Yeah, and the authenticity of the role. I mean, the Piragua guy was one of my favorite characters for the sake for like the authenticity purposes, for the the culture purposes. I really liked that.
Yeah. But we will get back to that in the weekly blurb. But for now, welcome guys to another episode of Blerd Survival Guide. I'm your co-host Jeremy.
I'm James.
And this is our 13th, 14th.
I'm losing count.
We are losing count, which is good.
Hey, we're working.
We're making it. Yeah. We both just saw In the Heights today, so we're gonna.
I watched it at my house, and you watched it in the movie theater.
And the theater experience was glorious.
I enjoyed it in my room.
Yeah,
I did.
But we will get to that. Like I said, we'll get to it in our weekly blurb later today, or later on in the episode. But today's episode, what are we going to be discussing, Jay?
Because we watched In the Heights, I think it's an appropriate transition into our topic of discussion today, which will be music, our music tastes, and how they diverge from what people would stereotypically think that we listen to. But I'm here to say that we often defy the stereotype with our music taste. What do you think, Jeremy?
Definitely. Like I'm pretty sure if people were to look at me and like those pictures on like Facebook or Instagram where it's like when you're in the gym and like someone sees you with headphones and like you have this concentrated look on your face.
Like, what am I listening to?
Right, and the next picture is like you see like on captions is like Marilyn Monroe or like Broadway musicals playing in the background, and you just got this serious look on your face. That's basically me.
Like Jeremy probably has on at any given time a Hamilton song, a Lion King song. Pick your Disney movie song while you're working in the gym, before you're going to the club, just to get hype, because you're gonna about to have to listen to maybe 4 hours of hip hop and rap. Because guess what? Jeremy's not the biggest fan of hip hop and rap.
Nope. I grew up listening mainly to, and I guess that's just us diving into the episode for real.
Yeah, I think so.
But I grew up. And I mean, we all grew up listening to like our parents' music because we didn't have our own taste in music until we had our own like little iPod shuffles and MP3 players and CDs and CD players and all that. But when I was growing up,
the pre-internet age.
Oh yeah, sorry for you youngins who don't know about that. But we would I'm riding in the car early in the mornings with my mom listening to 98.7, which is a R&B station. And we would listen to Tom Joyner in the morning, and I would hear songs like Earth, Wind, and Fire, which I really love. My mom was a big fan of Prince, which made me a fan by default, and also Michael Jackson.
Rain, purple rain.
But yeah, that kind of helped cultivate my personal taste in music when I started gathering my own taste. I'm really into nowadays more brass and jazz music. When I was younger, my mom would play, and that was interesting. She would tell me when I was like a baby, when I was just in the car, we would ride places and stuff like that. She wouldn't put on like the hip hop stations or the R&B stations. She would put on the jazz stations. Right. And I remember Sanford, they had their jazz station 91.1. And we would listen to that, and she said that would literally, like, I would just be calm the whole time.
I think you noted it. We got a lot of our music tastes, or everyone's music taste really originates from their parents, right? Like, it's the first people, they are the first people to introduce music to us. And like from there, we develop and grow our own, like just through testing the waters and deciding, and our friends expose us to things.
Oh, yeah.
But, I had a different experience. I had my grandparents who raised me.
Right.
Which people, like, I often talk about, like, people and their parents and the music that they listen to, because a lot of people get influenced by the 80s, right? Like there was like a lot of 80s music that you listened to that influenced your mom, because that's when she grew up, right?
No, she were like the 70s and 80s. And
But my grandparents who raised me grew up in the 50s. And so I'm getting like Frank Sinatra.
Good old
and I'm getting
doo-wop.
Like Rat Pack, what's the guy's name?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. Just like all sorts of like this 50s music, like Elvis. My grandmother loved Elvis.
Oh man,
Grandma.
That's amazing.
Grandma was a big Elvis fan, but like Buddy Holly, like these are like the people that I grew up listening to, and I can remember like we would go on. My granddad wasn't a big music listener in the car. He liked to listen to sports radio, so we would listen to Jocks. But when he would play it, he would have...
I know nothing of that.
When he would play music, he would play like CDs like by Buddy Holly or Fats Domino. Or I can remember this one song by this Italian singer. I don't even remember the name of it. But it goes like, standing on the corner, watching the girls go by. And I'm like, it's like the most swingy... very like in the lounge type music.
And
so like
more
that
of those
was where I had my...
try the Bills,
exactly, man. It really set me at a different point in my life compared to my friends, because like I had to talk to my friends and I didn't even know who the heck Michael Jackson was when I got to elementary school.
Oh, you poor baby! Oh my God.
My grandparents, God love them, they rarely introduced me to black music.
Right.
And I mean, I had to be introduced to black music by my friends, by my mom introduced me to rap in her own way, because I got introduced to Eminem through my mother, which I think is interesting for me.
Yeah.
Just given who Eminem is, what his music's about and everything, and my relationship with my mom.
Right.
But no, it did not listen to what everybody else listened to either.
And that put us on our paths to where we are today. And
it's one of my favorite discussions is to talk to someone about how did they get to the music taste that they got to, right?
Right, because I mean, if I had to not even pinpoint, just kind of like point out the music that you listen to that you've introduced me to. You are really into the electronic dance music, EDM scene.
That is my favorite kind of music right now.
Right.
I mean, since
you also are heavy into hip hop and rap as well.
I am.
And then I can stray you towards some top 40 and pop sometimes.
Every now and again.
Yeah, that's my forte. But yeah,
you like top 40 and pop, but you also really have got this big band sound like what's the name?
Like Cab Calloway.
Bum bum bum. Bum bum bang. The song.
Oh, Bang. Yeah, by AJR. Yeah,
AJR. I mean, like that big band style. I think that is divergent from pop, so to speak.
Right.
I think that sound has definitely captured your personality in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think that's what music really does for a lot of people. It really describes their personality. It
for sure.
It gives other people a chance to see who this person is as a person.
But what sucks is like there's this like pressure, especially when you're growing up, to fill a mold and fit a mold, and like you're only expected to listen to certain types of music.
Right.
And for me, I always found it to be, stifling, or, now that I'm older, a waste of time. Because like, you end up where you're going to end up no matter how
you get there.
No matter how you get there.
Right. No, but because I mean, I can give you examples through and through you go to the skating rink, and me personally, I don't know everyone's story, but like we would go to the skating rink, or like my friends from church when I was growing up. They're, right. I mean, predominantly black church. We're listening to hip hop or they're listening to hip hop all the time. I'm able to know our version of hip hop classics now because of that.
Right, right. You and your 2000 hip hop, man, like you have an extensive library of knowledge that I've observed.
Yeah, and that's where my love of hip hop kind of began and ended, was basically like between, I would say, 1999 to 2008.
I was gonna say 2008 at best.
At best, and that's probably like the height. The
that's the hype of like the Atlanta hip hop scene, like
T.I.,
Usher, yeah, that whole generation of hip hop for sure.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of where it ends, because once it gets past that point, that's when you start to get everyone with the name Lil something and trap, and the hi hats all sound the same.
Mumble rap.
Mumble rap.
Which I like mumble rap, man. Like Future is like someone that I admire as an artist. I think that he was a trailblazer in a lot of ways.
I get that, but also it's like people don't understand it, because you have the mumble rap that people understand, like
True.
Future, like 2 Chainz. He's not a mumble rapper per se, but like
he is Atlanta trap rap, right?
And I appreciate his music, because he reminds me of like the hip hop of yesteryear, quote unquote.
Right, but then you have Rich Homie Quan.
You have Rich Homie Quan. You have Designer.
Okay,
you can't understand a damn word that he says.
Hey, Timmy Turner.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Everything else is like I could a lot of these mumble rappers now just
you see, like for someone who is not I wouldn't plug you as a words guy, right? Like you like the mood, you like the vibe, you like the sound,
right?
But it surprises me that like mumble rap is so offensive to you,
because you have no substance in the song. Like I can take. And that's the thing with a lot of hip hop these days, and this is my personal opinion, but like a lot of hip hop these days, a lot of the mainstream hip hop, and that's for us down south, because that's where we're based. A lot of down south hip hop is the same tempo, same hi-hat, same bass. Yes. And that's you can do that on every song, and it really originated with like the Nene, that song.
Okay.
Because that tempo, that done
yeah,
you can do that same tempo for every song that's come out since the Nene, and it's the exact same. And I mean, you probably
so as a person that loves music and loves like the variety in music and loves like
there is no variety in my opinion. That's why I like listening.
It lacks depth,
right? And that's why I like listening. I can still listen to hip hop now, but it's like I like Chance the Rapper. I like there's a
you like some J. Cole.
Some J. Cole, and it's some of his older stuff, not some of the newer stuff, because he went a little too mainstream, in my opinion. His rap career
was pre-2008, right? Like he started making mixtapes in like 2005,
right? But also you like D Smoke. If you haven't watched, I forgot the name of that show on Netflix.
That sounds familiar.
The hip hop, the rapping show. With
yeah, I remember that show. Yeah.
But he was the winner of that first season,
and you enjoyed him,
right? And like
because he's a lyrical rapper, like,
right?
You enjoy lyrical rap.
I do enjoy lyrical rap.
We both do, honestly,
right? And there's like I said, there's this Christian rapper who still kind of like also rap. It reminds me of kind of like AJR, but like if AJR were actually like rappers.
You know, it's got like it has a different vibe to it. It has a different sound to it. Like it's a bigger band based rap rather than the typical 808s and hi-hats.
Right, but this other rapper, his name is Peabody.
Okay.
And it's pretty good rap. I enjoy it. It's different.
Okay.
And like I said,
you're gonna have to send me some of this music because I haven't heard it.
Yeah. But what we can do now is probably we've both been like staring at our Spotify playlist this whole time trying to figure out like our top artists and songs and kind of what we defined as music. What we can do now is probably do almost like a list of sorts.
I think I'm going to go with a list of songs that are, that vary in style and, kind of just talk about how, I think that they kind of diverge from the norm.
Right.
But also have roots in some of the original music.
Right.
Because, I mean, for me, what's funny is, like, we were talking earlier, is I was looking down at, like, my starred playlist, which, if you've, on Spotify, which, if you had had Spotify for long enough, there used to be a function on Spotify where you would star something kind of like Pandora, but it would save the song and put it in a playlist
So
for you.
Just have this massive
So
library.
I have this, like, I have this playlist of, you know, maybe 30 hours of music that I have collected since I was a senior in high school.
Ooh, that was
That's 8 years.
7, 8 years, yeah.
9 years maybe now. 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 8 years of music that I still listen to on a shuffle playlist, just as, like, this is the music that I've listened to across time. Across, like, the time that I started collecting music. Really.
Right.
And so, I mean, the first 3 songs that I have on here, which are all very different, are For Good from the musical Wicked by Kristen Chenoweth.
Noise.
This Is the New Shit by Marilyn Manson, which, if anybody is familiar with his music, it's very different from Kristen Chenoweth. And
Yeah.
and then, like, the third and fourth song I have on here is The Motto by Drake and Lil Wayne and Donald Trump by Mac Miller, which, you know, the song when it came out, it was a bop.
Right.
Like we love Mac and we love his music, and the song, while, you know, might have, you know, got a little bit dated due to events outside of his control, it's still a bop.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying that, like, everybody has to have a broad music taste, but for me, having a broad music taste allowed me to find myself as, like, an individual, and then, like, led me to other divergent music tastes like the EDM scene.
Right. And if I had to take a look at my personal Spotify playlist, I can't even look at my like songs because I've strayed away from that at this point because of all the changes of Spotify and everything.
Yeah, so you started making your own curated playlist.
I have each year I call it my jam session, but it's a different one each year. It started with just like jam session 1, jam session 2, but then I realized, hey, I'm finna do this yearly. I'm gonna start putting years on it. So I've have basically since I've had Spotify, I would say, well, since I've had Spotify paying for it and collecting music for it, and really collecting music, I've had it since 2017. I'm up to jam session 2021 now. Right. And I mean, I basically see my evolution of music through those playlists.
I understand
what
that.
I've liked, like what I liked back in 2017 is vastly different.
Right.
Than what I like in 2021.
We go through phases. It's fun to observe, like, the phases that we go through. Like, this playlist, right?
Right.
I'll observe it and I'll be like, and I'll look at it and I'm like, I remember what was going on in my life at the time that I decided to save this song.
Exactly. And it's fun to, like, basically relive years.
Yeah.
Through like these playlists, because I would say, like, in 2018, let me see if I can find it real quick.
2017 was a good year for music.
It was. It really was. Yeah. So, like, the first 3 songs, and this is basically me as an individual, but also, like, since Jay introduced me, well, not the first 3, but the first handful of songs I can point out on here. I have 1, 2, 3 Victory by Kirk Franklin and Pharrell Williams. That's when Kirk
Beautiful
Franklin started going back and forth between, like, gospel and messing with, like, the mainstream folks.
Man, I remember when you played that song for me.
Yeah, it was a dope song. I had a whole Daft Punk phase at one point where it was big, and I found, like, they have a live concert on Spotify.
I have a sad story about Daft Punk. It's nothing but to reflect on the band, like, because I love the music and and the fact that they're not making music anymore saddens me deeply. Yeah. But when I was in middle school, and this is, like, to show, like, how closed my music taste was, because I was like, I just want to listen to rap. I just want to be black, so I'm gonna just listen to rap. This is how I was thinking, right? Obviously, and this kid comes up to me at our youth group, and he's like, "Hey, Jay, you like music? What kind? Have you ever heard of Daft Punk?" And I kind of thought this kid was weird, and so I was like, "No, who the heck are they?" Like, no. And he plays "Doing It Right" for me, and, like, this is, like, you know, I mean, this is a very classic and amazing, in my opinion, amazing Daft Punk song. Right. I was so closed off, Jeremy, that I just did not appreciate the song at all, and like, I kind of associated the fact that I thought the kid was weird with the fact that he liked this group.
Why is this weird kid showing me this weird
And
music?
exactly, man. And you know, when he told me they were like this Swedish group or whatever, that like wherever they were French, they're French. And I was just immediately like so close-minded to the idea that this could have even been a good group. But I'm like, and every time I listen to Daft Punk, I kind of think about that moment. I'm like, dang, I missed out on so much good music for such a long time.
You gotta open your mind, man.
You gotta open
your musical third eye.
I love sharing music with people. It's one of my favorite things to do now.
Definitely.
But like at the time, like I was not in that mindset. And when I talk about music with my granddad now, I kind of understand why.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad that you are well versed in the Daft Punk era now.
Oh, much more.
Yeah, but also like other things that I would have on this playlist is Bambi by Jadena, classic man.
Classic man. Yeah. Oh,
he had an album because I like that song. And I was like,
right.
Ooh,
so you're gonna listen some more,
right? So it's a song called Bambi by Jadena. And you this next song you showed me. Unfortunately, this artist is now canceled.
But the song
was amazing. 'Cause I don't listen to it anymore. Other Worlds by Bass Nectar.
Oh,
yeah,
great song.
Yeah, and I like a lot of songs that I can see myself telling a story or like see a story in the song.
And you're a very like I think you see color when you hear music, don't you?
Yeah, and apparently that's a type of synesthesia.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Ooh. So yeah, I see a bunch of colors when I see Other Worlds, but it's cool.
It's okay.
But then also these last three are I would say they're my personality, like more of my personality now than they were back then.
Okay.
It's Bikini Bottom Day from the SpongeBob SquarePants musical. Which have you seen that yet?
No, Jeremy, I have not watched it yet.
I got it on.
I have listened to the music with you in the car for the entirety of the musical. I'm pretty sure at this point. So I have not seen it yet. No.
Okay. we gonna watch it.
We probably will eventually.
Like I made you watch Shrek the Musical.
Exactly.
That's another time.
Exactly.
That's another story. But also Happy by
but
C2C.
also relevant.
Yeah.
But Happy by
C2C.
Because I'm happy. No.
You know, I'm happy. Ding, ding, ding. I'll have to show him.
You'll have to show me.
But it's this group of DJs called C2C, and they
okay.
And this last one is Catching Villains from Teen Titans,
hey.
where everyone was surprised that like Beast Boy had
bars. But Beast Boy came correct with catching villains. He was talking about Terra, man, like he was catching hard villains.
Man, he said, "Got me catching villains." Hey, but yeah, that basically rounds up how my music tastes have kind of evolved, because from there I've listened to a lot more Bruno Mars. Well, I mean, I fell in love with Bruno Mars well beforehand.
Yes.
But like my top three artists would definitely be Bruno Mars, AJR, and it kind of interchanges on that last one, but it's yeah.
Whoever you're listening to most at the time.
Yeah, so sometimes Brass Tracks, sometimes Michael Jackson, sometimes CeeLo Green, sometimes
Andre 3000, Outkast.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Sometimes just whatever musical is out, like Be More Chill. Or like,
oh yeah.
Or things like that. But yeah, that's my growth in music.
Well, you know me, like I'm always searching for that next that next new song, because like that's something that I look forward to. It's something that adds joy to my life. It's something that like I think it's almost like a personality trait for me, just because I really do enjoy finding new music. And I mean, within the realm of EDM, I mean, like that new music option is pretty extensive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because like SoundCloud's a thing, right? Like,
yep.
And SoundCloud, where people just like post unedited tracks, like brand new tracks, like just like pre-mastered tracks. Just
you can find a mashup I did on SoundCloud.
You can find a mashup that Jeremy did on SoundCloud. I mean, it's always the new thing, and I think it's always fun for me to go back to my liked songs through SoundCloud and just like look at like that transformation, because I remember when I went through like a lot of phases in electronic music.
Yeah, you stayed on SoundCloud for a minute.
I mean, I stayed on
exclusively on SoundCloud.
I stood at SoundCloud. Like I was like, everybody, just like, let me just send you SoundCloud tracks nonstop.
Basically,
because I mean, like there was like a lot of fun songs that I was like, okay, they're not going to hear these things anywhere else.
Right.
That's why I like SoundCloud.
It wasn't put out anywhere else.
I mean, because it's individually produced, right? Like it's not someone that got which Spotify is different now, where you can post tracks on Spotify without having a producer or having
like a whole rollout plan.
Yeah, that whole thing. Like it's different like that now. You can do that, but SoundCloud was the first people to do it, other than like DatPiff or any other kind of like Bandcamp, any kind of thing like that.
Napster.
Exactly, just different kinds of sound streaming services. But like it's fun to listen to. Like because when I first started listening to electronic music was in high school when I went to the M-Rave, which was a thing. Do you remember M-Rave? Or did you remember hearing about M-Rave?
I heard about it. I never went.
I went a couple times. And, they would have these big house DJs come in and, like, play. And they were fun. I mean, I don't remember being, like, that critiquey about the music because I wasn't there for the music, to be honest with you. I was there to
party.
To party, exactly. And
it was basically going out to the club for high schoolers.
Exactly. But later on, like I would listen to trap, and then I got into a trap phase, and then I got into like this heavy dubstep Skrillex phase, and then I got into RL Grime, and then like it you learned about the different styles of this music too. Like you would learn about deep bass, or you would learn about drum and bass, or you would learn about trap, or more amorphic music.
Right.
And it's just been a fun ride for me to explore those new types of music, and I encourage anybody to do so. So, what I think we should do is I think we should post a playlist on social media. Like a Blerd Survival Guide playlist of Jeremy and Jay's hot tracks.
We want to make one of those like where it's do like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just like keep adding to it whenever we like something.
I like that idea. Yeah. I like that idea because, like, if people are really interested in our music taste, then I feel like that's kind of a way for us to connect with them.
Right. No, I really do enjoy that. Great conversation. Yeah. Great conversational piece. What we're going to do now, and, we do encourage you guys, if you are still, prayerfully you're still listening, but comment on our social media pages what kind of music you like to listen to. We'll definitely
tell us what you think of this episode.
Definitely. We would love to hear some reviews.
Like some feedback and like reviews from our people.
We had let me check one real quick. I posted a picture on Instagram about Loki, about if anybody saw it when it premiered, because it premieres on Wednesday now, so you have well enough time to watch it before I talk about spoilers, because I can talk about it. But we have a comment on it. We have a guest in the studio today, little Nikki. Sorry.
It's our producer's pup.
Yeah, little mascot. But they, I had a Loki picture posted, and Margarita, she is a friend of ours. She posted, I asked, how are your thoughts on the first episode of Loki? She said it was great, and as we were going to have an episode on it, we do have a Loki talk that we're going to probably do a quick little spiel on, if not in the weekly Blerd, probably next week, hopefully. But like real quick about it, great episode. Loki's whole arc was like Loki 2012 Loki, his whole arc, like he saw his whole arc of the MCU in less than 5 minutes and had his own personal arc, and it was beautiful, and I cried. I watched it twice. I watched it before we started our podcast today. This show looked like it's going to be freaking fantastic. It already talks about the multiverse and how we're going to get there, and I can't wait for episode 2. What are your quick thoughts on it before we go to break and come back with our weekly blurb?
You'll hear my thoughts on the weekly blurb.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. But we will be right back to hear a word from our sponsor, Anchor, and we will be right back with the weekly blurb. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody.
You know what time it is. It's time for the weekly blurb.
I went first last week. You go first this week.
You're right. So, This week, I want to talk about literally the movie that we both just saw.
Yeah? What are you going to
In the Heights.
What was it called?
In the Heights.
Ah. We watch a lot of movies. Sometimes I get confused.
You're right. This is just...
Because I did just watch the new Conjuring, too.
I'm good. No, but it was, just this little musical about this neighborhood in Washington Heights, A little something.
Who wrote it? What was his name?
Some guy, like Lane.
Neil?
Mandy...
Manuel?
No, I'm kidding though.
Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Gene? No. Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda's his first musical that won the Tony Award, In the Heights, got a film adaptation directed by John Chu, who is of Crazy Rich Asian fame.
Mm-hmm. And Great Gatsby, right?
No, that's Baz Luhrmann.
Excuse me.
It's okay. You're excused. But no, the movie, without giving any spoilers, because it just came out. It's on HBO Max for those who have the subscription, but also it's in theaters. I went and saw it in theaters. Shay saw it at home today. But I personally plan on going back to see it probably like 3 or 4 times.
It's a beautiful movie.
It's beautifully shot. Its story is amazing. I cried on
Couple
certain
times.
scenes. Yeah. It got me. I was in the theater trying not to like make noise, but like it was felt.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that might be the added benefit of watching it at home is the non-public criming. Yeah, if I wanted to, I really could have, and I did feel the need a couple times. But I'm a man. We don't cry.
I don't know what you're talking about. Real men cry.
That's true.
Yeah,
I cry a lot.
Real men.
All the
Pound
time.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. But back to In the Heights. It's Anthony Ramos, Lin-Manuel Miranda's in it, Chris Jackson, all of Hamilton fame. They are making appearances. Anthony Ramos is the main character of Usnavi.
My favorite thing was the story behind his name. I had no idea. Which they'll learn about it when they see it. But like that was probably one of the coolest things that I thought.
It was dope.
It was so clever, and I'm like, because like the whole time you're like, what is with his freaking name? Because it's not Latino. I'm like, what is this?
It's unique,
boy, right?
But no, great movie throughout. Like I said, cinematography was amazing. The use of color in that movie,
because why the color's there too. Is like because the diversity of the Dreamers, the diversity of the Latinx community, like this whole thing is just so vibrant, man.
And it really opens an eye to a lot of people who don't see the real Latinx community, and
it's distinctive. It's distinctive. It draws the distinctions on purpose,
right? And it doesn't give off like any negative stereotypes of any type. It's real. I've seen articles about the fashion in the movie is basically ripped from the streets of Washington Heights. Like we're seeing authenticity.
Man, Miriam and I were watching it, and she pointed out that some of the guys were wearing jorts, and I'm like, I wear jorts, and I'm like, I felt like I was in style.
You felt seen.
Yeah,
you
bro.
felt seen.
I'm like, this is the look here. All right, cool. I'm not outside my mind trying to wear these jorts.
Nah, but like I said, the movie as a whole just like it made me feel warm inside. It was just so great. The music was amazing as usual. The core strength in this.
Boy, doesn't Lin love a medley?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Just like the medleys that were throughout the whole song, throughout the musical, blending and like cross like tracking.
Oh yeah. Chef's kiss of a movie, 9.5 out of 10. I mean, they had some faults with it. I don't want to put them out there in the air.
Talk about it.
But
I think a lot of people should. I think more people should go see this movie than probably will inevitably end up going to see the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's a very popular movie. It's a popular subject. But what sucks is I don't think the people that need to see the movie are going to see the movie.
Right.
It's like kind of one of those things. It's like how do we get this movie, get this message, get this story to the people that
need
to hear it because
this movie
it allows you to feel sympathy and to feel empathy for the the immigrant,
right?
You know, the immigrant community,
right? Now, I mean, this movie was originally supposed to come out summer of 2019 or 2020.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because it was summer of 2019. I remember I was like being super excited about it.
Right, and it got pushed. No, it was supposed to come out in like November of 2019.
Okay,
and then it got pushed. I think Warner Brothers pushed it, and then COVID, of course,
and pushed again,
and so it got pushed all the way to 2021. Glad it came out in summer of 2021 because it's fitting. It was particularly hot these past couple days too, so it's just like this fits.
You know,
like
the tracking with the story, because like Miriam asked me at the beginning of the movie, she was like, "Are you familiar with the story?" I'm like, "No," because I came in watching it not having any kind of context for the movie,
completely blind.
Like I didn't know the music either. Like I just knew like "In the Heights" just
right.
from the trailer.
By, yeah.
Exactly. And like there was like that line in the part where I think they've been in 3 days of the blackout, and they're just like,
spoiler, there's a blackout.
I mean,
that's it. There's a blackout.
And she has that line about like the diversity that she actually portrays. But she's like, I bet I tell everybody I'm from Queens.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's heard that.
And everyone's heard
on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like this like super iconic.
No, there's Dominican. I'm Puerto Rican.
Exactly. And I was like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, and
that whole scene was.
Oh gosh. I mean the dance scene.
I'm waving my hands because it was just beautiful.
But the opening dance scene was
the
one of my
choreographer is the same choreographer from the Step Up movies.
I can see that. I can so see that. I mean, and it's all doable choreography. I was like looking at who's the guy that plays?
It was not Anthony Ramos.
Anthony
He's a great dancer though.
Boy, right?
He was killing it.
Slade laid it down.
The club.
Oh, the club scene was hot. Club scene was hot. I felt so bad for him. He didn't get to really do the thing, and I'm like, boy, you just needed like 5 more minutes. You just needed 5 more minutes, and you were in there. It was no problem.
And then shut down. All right, but guys, go watch this movie. Tell us what you think about it. We'll post some stuff on Instagram and Twitter and everything about it. That's my spiel. Jay, what you got for us on your end of the weekly blurb?
So I'm here to talk about Loki.
There you go.
And man, watching this show after watching WandaVision.
Now we are gonna say some spoilers on this part because that episode came out on last Wednesday.
So y'all better have watched it by now.
It's Tuesday, which means a new episode is coming out in about a couple hours. And like 2 a.m. our time, midnight, wherever else you watch it, it's about to come out, episode 2. So if you haven't seen episode 1, watch it before you watch this episode or listen to this episode. Continue, Jay.
Thank you. I mean, so like after watching WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I've been anxiously anticipating this series, and we've gotten to see like a lot of Kevin Feige's comments on it, like how integral it is to the next phase of the MCU. And so like I'm sitting here watching this episode on the first night, and I'm like, all right, feet firmly planted on the ground, eyes glued to the television.
What's about to happen?
And you know, you and I had talked about the Time Authority before, like briefly, just like IRL,
right?
And I didn't really know too much about it, but like to see the power that is necessary to tame Loki, just to like see how he comes in and he's like, I'm a god. And then
I am burdened with glorious purpose.
And then they just keep talking to him the way that really I think only Owen Wilson can.
Yes, your glorious purpose, right? Yeah. Tell me about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
To like fully minimize it, to like make it so minuscule, and to really give Loki a serious, and I mean for someone who thinks they're a god, an utmost serious reality check.
I mean, like the one quote, the one line that got me, not even a line, it was just like the comment that the judge made. It was just like she didn't say Loki. She was like, she like read the paper. She read it like as if it was just like you're the judge at circuit court. It's just like Loki, Lofty son, da 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 da. And then she looked at him. And she said, she didn't say Loki. She didn't say God of Mischief. She didn't say anything. She said, Mr. Lofty son. I was like, oh.
Right,
Mr. Lofty son.
Right.
I'm done. This man is just Mr. Lofty son. He ain't nothing else in this place.
He's not. And I mean, I just thought it was something that was so cool to watch, and Tom Hiddleston did a great job of acting that out, because like this man like comes from a part like from 2012, right? Like that's when like the divergent happened.
Just got defeated by the Avengers
Like,
for the first time. Is about to be taken back to Asgard. For
Hasn't
Thor:
had
The Dark World.
Ragnarok. Hasn't had any kind of that saving grace moment where he tries to rescue everybody by killing
Hela and everybody here.
Well,
By killing Thanos.
by killing Thanos, trying to do all that. And like then all of a sudden he gets this reality check. He's like, okay, oh my gosh, this is what my role is.
Right. No, he figures out I'm not here to be a king or a god of everything.
No,
I'm here to make other people look good.
Right.
That is his main purpose in life, and that's
Right.
it was.
Right.
It was amazing to see him go through all stages of
Change,
grief.
grief.
He went through all stages of grief within there's this part in the episode where he basically is watching his life literally flash before his eyes, and he's going through all the stages of grief of I'm not gonna. I can't accept this yet. I'm trying to bargain. How am I going to get out of this? How am I going to change my life so it doesn't happen to me? And then he accepts it, and it's just like, this is my life. I can't, and this is my new life now. Because after he hears his bones crack, it's like, oh,
yeah,
this is my life. I can't
Which
go
is
back to my
interesting.
normal
Is like
timeline.
he has to grieve the death of himself. Like
he has to grieve the death of his mother. He has to grieve
the death of his father, death, and his own death.
And he got to actually be called son by his dad, by his adoptive dad. Right. That made him happy. He actually got to reconcile things with Thor in a moment's
notice too. Like it was just
all this happened in.
He said, "This is just think of this as the highlights."
Basically, and it was and for all those conspiracy theorists thinking that OG Loki is still alive after that neck crack because he wasn't because he didn't turn blue when he died, or when he his neck was cracked and this was an illusionary thing. Yeah, it shows in the show that was the end of File, which means he died. Yeah, Loki is officially dead in the MCU. This is everything that until the Loki series.
Exactly. Yeah, and the File does end, right?
Yeah, and it says end of File. It says on the end of tape, it was Loki, Earth 616.
Which is the interesting part about the thing that I'm most interested is this divergent Loki, right? That he's about to have to face. And the whole time I'm watching, at the beginning of the episode, you see this pre-scene where where Owen Wilson's character is talking to the young girl. And he's like, "What did you see?" And he says the horns and everything, and it's El Diablo basically.
Right, it's the Green Devil with horns. That's literally what it is.
And I was like, okay, so obviously she's talking about Loki, and I'm like, what is about to happen in this show to where he's going to have to face himself, and why is he facing himself? Why are these divergents coming into the traditional timeline and screwing with things? It's really fascinating.
There's also if the Loki that we've seen in the MCU is not the baddest Loki of all, what does the baddest Loki of all look like at this point? That's what we have to meet. That's what we're up against. Because we're thinking that this Loki from
this is a familiar storyline, right? Because for me, it kind of reminds me of the Flash a little bit. Remember?
Oh yeah, Flash Reverse Flash. Yeah,
yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Flash. And I'm like, okay, so I'm excited to see this evil Loki and to see Tom Hiddleston's gonna get to do some fucked up shit.
But he also he gonna earn an Oscar because I know he's gonna act the hell out of all the Lokis that we're about to see in every multiverse.
It's gonna
because in the previews we've seen
to see the award ceremony next year for see how much Marvel
between him, Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah,
all them. Marvel is gonna have a field day with awards.
Oh, they probably will. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that until just now.
Yeah. But also, there was something else about Loki that caught my attention. Oh yeah, just the different versions of Loki that we're gonna see because in the trailers you've seen President Loki.
You saw
there's gonna be a Lady Loki.
But what's his name? The bank robber, B.D. Cooper. DB Cooper.
Yeah, that was the thing. He's actually in MCU canon. Loki is officially DB Cooper.
Man, that had me so hyped. I saw it happening, and Miriam's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Yo, he's DB Cooper.
He is.
He's DB Cooper.
He wasn't a spy for anybody. He lost a bet to Thor, and was DB Cooper.
Right,
and that's how he disappeared. That's how he just suddenly disappeared, and you only saw a couple of dollars from the plane he stole." because the Bifrost took him back to Asgard. I'm like, what? What?
It's fun. I mean, that's like, if that's not Stan Lee's brain at work, I don't know what is. Like, cause
Stan Lee, Kevin Feige, all them.
I mean, well, that was. I feel like that was something that into like the Loki comics.
Probably not the DB Cooper part, but definitely like a lot of the just Loki's mannerisms and things in general. Because I mean, if you look at the end credits and there's some post on like Instagram and Facebook.
I was so ready for a post credit scene in that episode.
I was too. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna surprise us and like put a post credit scene in like
maybe like the mid season.
Right. And it was like, oh, they actually being different. Yay. But there's like the case file on Loki. This kind of ties in with Pride Month as well. It was like Loki, height 6'3", weight. He's heavy. He's like 500 pounds.
I don't even think.
Because like Asgard weight and everything.
Yeah.
Because I've seen one where Thor's like 1,000 pounds.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's why they're like strong and like able to throw stuff and
yeah,
and
like
all
they
that.
just got mad. All right.
Yeah. But also it says his sex is fluid.
Oh
yeah.
Well,
so
I mean,
he's gender fluid.
You know, like, I've always thought that.
And that was actually in the comics too.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Like that's fun and great for our community. Honestly,
Woo.
He always reminds me of Orochimaru a little bit, just like from Naruto, because like there's that scene in Boruto where Orochimaru is like, Mitsuki asks, constantly, are you my mother or you're my father? He's like, I'm your parent.
Right. That's what Mitsuki constantly calls him his parent.
His parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't say mom or dad. He's like he tells like
because like I mean like Loki has existed as both man and woman.
Because I mean he's a shapeshifter. Like with the God of Mischief, he's able to like do that. And so I mean you're able to
fluid. So fluid.
But
yeah, man, like I could go on and on about the show. Like there were so many things, so many elements that were just like wonderfully entertaining and also just like awesome to observe because because they are like stepping up into the next game of things. Stepping up.
I mean, you started the episode, and I mean this is my last little spiel before we get off today. They start off the episode like with Miss Time, the animated clock, explaining that there was a multiverse war, which means there was already a multiverse in Marvel beforehand, and then the Timekeepers made it one. Put it together. And now I can see in my prediction
giant
is that
space lizards.
Right. My prediction is that Loki is going to cause the multiverse of madness, which is going to bring in Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch to save the day, as well as Scarlet getting her family back. And that's my prediction, is that he's going to be the cause of the actual multiverse of madness. With him fighting anti-Loki or...
Y'all heard it here first.
Loki
This is a official Blerd Survival Guide Jeremy's forecast for the MCU.
Y'all can't see it, but I'm flexing because
I'm confident in your decision making here.
We'll just see what happens. But other than that, thank you guys for listening to this. I'm just going to say it's a 2-in-1 episode because we talked about a lot of things. Over talked about it.
But I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed our review of music, our discussion of pop culture and Marvel, as well as In the Heights.
But definitely check us out on all of our social media aspects at Blerd Survival Guide on Instagram, at Blerd Guide on Twitter, Blerd Survival Guide on Facebook, and Blerd Survival Guide at gmail.com. If you want to email us, if you want to come on and interview with us, let us know.
We would love to get to talk to our fans.
Oh, definitely. And then follow our personals at JRBear3295,
at JW0283,
and it's just MRM. Thank you guys for listening. Keep surviving. Listen to the theme song.
Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.